Hi, I'm Phil Provenzano, the owner and founder of Team Provo, LLC. I recently wrote an article for Iron Affinity about digestion, and I'd like to touch on that and expand on some topics a little more here today. Go through some common causes that physique athletes and bodybuilders alike experience. The reason why I think digestion is so important is because you could have the perfect plan in place, and if your digestion's screwed up, it doesn't matter. It's really going to set things back. You're going to be uncomfortable. Your body's not going to process the food at the right times that you need to. I'm going to go over some potential problems that bodybuilders experience, why it happens, and what you can do to alleviate these symptoms. Fiber is a big element in digestion. You're not getting enough, guess what? You're going to get constipated. You're going to have trouble digesting your food. You eat too much, you're going to get bloated. You're going to have the same issues. It's a fine line between finding that right amount. It's generally recommended to consume about 14 grams of fiber per 1,000 calories, but that amount is going to differ from individual. And fiber source, some people are going to be more sensitive to some. Some guys might eat 3 bags of broccoli a day and feel great, whereas I might eat a cup of broccoli and feel horrible, and I'm better off supplementing or getting my fiber from other sources. So it is a fine line, but that's a good guideline to start. Something to put into the equation with fiber, and also moving on to the next topic, is water. If you jack your fiber intake up and you're not properly hydrated, I mean, you might as well be pouring cement into your colon and intestines, because that's what it's doing. So you need to have a balancing of consuming enough water. How much water? That is another question that the answer is not black and white, but I would say for anyone at least 1 gallon, and preferably more. Another issue is that, to get X amount of calories in, and most guys can consume 4,000 calories from burgers and pizza. That's a piece of cake. But to do that from clean food, that's a voluminous amount of food. Clean food is more voluminous. It takes up more mass and space than dirty food. I mean, try eating 4,000 calories of chicken and rice versus 4,000 calories of Burger King. You'd be like, oh my God, look at this amount of food, and the discrepancy and the difference between that and the dirty version it's insane. So for your body just to process that volume of food, it creates issues when trying to break it down. So it's important to have a lot of things in place to help facilitate the digestion. Just eating crappy too much, or even if it's not crappy, like a greasy food, stuff with tomatoes or stuff that's too spicy. If you're sensitive to that kind of thing, you could get things like GERD, various reflux type problems, just general stomach unease. So that's something you need to look out for. You might want to avoid foods that you have that type of sensitivity to. Another thing I see a lot of guys doing is they stop growing, and like myself, like all nutritionists and guys with common sense, you generally need more food to keep growing, but there does become a point where you're eating so much food every day that you're just not digesting and processing it properly, so it becomes kind of counterproductive. You become so bloated all the time, and you're not absorbing anything, so what good is it really doing? Some of you other guys and girls might notice that when you start a contest prep diet after feeling bloated from eating too much food, all of a sudden you're getting better pumps, you feel bigger. Well, there might be something to be said from that. There's more room in your stomach to be processing this stuff, and all of a sudden your physique's looking better, fuller, harder. I mean, there's other variables at stake other than digestion. I understand insulin sensitivity and all that stuff plays a big role. This is something, my next topic, lack of good bacteria in the gut. This is, I think, the most important issue, because I suffered these problems where I was having extreme bloating. My stomach just felt like there was so much air and gas in it all the time. I was miserable no matter what I ate, which foods, what type of way. I just felt horrible. At the time I was probably consuming around 4,500 calories a day. I wasn't getting any bigger, and it was about a year where I felt totally miserable. I was experimenting with various probiotics, and then I came across this one. My good friend John, who owns Nutley Nutrition Zone, recommended this to me, and within 4 days I said, well, I'm having a good day. All of a sudden my stomach feels better. It must be a fluke thing. A week goes by, I haven't had stomach pains in a week. So the bottom line is I know this is a very reputable product. I'm not sponsored or endorsed by this company in any way. It just works. And back to the fiber topic, just because I don't want to miss this, and I have no affiliation with species other than that this product works awesome. You have constipation issues, food absorption issues. I mean, your stomach will feel a little funny at first because this is a very strong fiber supplement. It'll feel bloated and pressure, but once you get used to it, I can't live without it. I tried this about 13 months ago and I haven't looked back. It's non-stop. I've used it in my every single day. I go on vacation, I go away for a night, this is coming with me because without it I noticed a big difference. Now, if some of you have had reflux problems or have been diagnosed with GERD, your doctor might have put you on Nexium or Acifex, or if you've been on these products a long time and you're having these medications for a long time and you're having digestive issues, they could very well be contributing and exacerbating them because they're cutting off a large majority of your acid supply. And yes, acid was the reason for the GERD problem, but with lack of acid, acid serves a function in your stomach. It helps your body break down food. So what you could try doing, I mean, with your physician's consent, obviously, you could try doing is a combination or one of the other of lowering the medication or, you know, supplementing with something like apple cider vinegar, because that's going to help your stomach produce some acid. You know, start slowly tinkering with both until you find that right medium where you're not getting GERD and your food is breaking down more properly. Now, just some other things like that I had learned over the years through my digestive disorders that I picked up from a gastroenterologist. The first time I went there, I explained the symptoms. I was getting a lot of trapped air in my stomach and chest, and he had me cut out diet soda and chewing gum, and right away I noticed relief. And now occasionally if I want a diet soda, I'm going to have a diet soda, but it's not something I have ever. I was having 1 or 2 a day and thinking, oh, it's going to get the air out because it's going to make me burp. It was just exacerbating everything. I'd like to introduce one of my clients who's an IFBB Pro, Steve Silverman, who also had a lot of digestive issues.
Stomach issues has affected my progress. You know, distended stomach and everything. People was telling me it's from, you know, too much protein, too much drugs, or too much whatever, insulin or growth hormone, and it's not really from that at all. It has to do with digestion and food not being properly digested in my stomach, making a protruded stomach and very discomforting feelings, and, you know, throwing up like stomach bile and everything. I've had a lot of problems with my stomach. Well, in the past I've taken a probiotic, but not this probiotic. I forget the name, but it actually made my stomach worse. Then Phil told me that he came across this Ultimate Flora, and that I should try it. And I was like beating around the bush for a while. I didn't really try it. I used it like a couple days. I used it, and I didn't use it a couple days. It's basically, you have to use this every day, though. This is an everyday thing, and it's going to take like at least 2 weeks for it to really work in your system, or work in my system. I just sucked it up. I take it in the morning, every morning when I take all my other supplements. I take this, and it's been bringing the bloating down in my stomach and helping me digest my food better. I also have a hiatal hernia and acid reflux, and I have a torn pipe here from well, it's not hard to get into, but I have bad stomach problems. And this helps me out with my acid reflux as well. I still do take the Nexium medicine because I don't like to feel the burn, but this definitely brings the bloat and a lot of the burping down too. I take a digestive enzyme with every meal now. I didn't do that before. You know, you just got to remember to take it. Well, I take this, and you know, my stomach's been, I mean, for the most part, it hasn't been sticking out. I also take the Fiberlize at nighttime. I don't take it every day, but if I haven't gone to the bathroom good in about like a day or two, like a good bowel movement, then I take Fiberlize, and it works very beneficial to me. And basically, a lot of people, you can eat as much food as you want, man. I did that for a long time. I force-fed food down my mouth because I wanted to get big. And did it work? Yeah, it did work, but also fucking I had a bad, it affected my stomach in the long run, you know what I mean? So basically my thing is, if you're not digesting your food, you might as well not even eat the food. I mean, the best thing to do is not stuff food down your mouth and take these supplements and, you know, see if it works for you.
like to leave with us for today?
Get big or go home.